Oh, City Pigeons episode 88. Look at us. Look at us.
Keith Jackson.
Did we get no, Eric Lindros.
That's true.
Either way. Check this out. If you're watching the video here, I'm just going to poke my head a little to the
left.
No, to the right. And look at that. Beautiful sunset here in Ocean City, New Jersey. The Shore episode is going down. And, I'd be remiss to say the legendary Mike Meach, the GOAT of Ocean City, is not with us tonight.
The hustler of Ocean City.
I know. He's probably got a hustle down here going on right now as we speak. He couldn't make it tonight. We love Meach. We send a shout out to him. You're the man, Meach. There we go. A little fire engine in the back for the ambiance. We got a nice crew here. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. How's everybody doing tonight? Let's go. July 4th tomorrow. Are we excited? Let's go. We're excited. We do the same thing every year.
That's the loudest crowd we've ever had.
Yeah. It was actually kind of funny. I was at home talking to somebody. I was with my dad. We were talking about July 4th, and I was like, I don't think I've been in Philadelphia for a July 4th in the past maybe 25 years. Like, I'm doing every July 4th down here at the Shore. We have our same routine. We have the bike parade at 10. Who's fired up for the bike parade tomorrow, people? Let's go.
What?
The bike parade.
What's the bike parade?
You're not familiar with this?
No.
Yo, it's WAF. It is WAF. And honestly, it's the waffest thing you've ever seen.
What is it?
We just had a conversation earlier about how the early days of the podcast may have been funnier than current times. And WAF was something that a phrase that Rocky coined. Rock, what does it stand for again? I can't remember.
White as fuck.
That's correct. Yeah. And I assure you that the bike parade in Ocean City is WAF, baby. There ain't no doubt about it.
Excuse me. There's kids out here.
Yo, are you going to come? You got to come to the bike parade tomorrow and verify how WAF it is. Are you in on that?
I don't know. Possibly.
All right.
What time's the bike parade start?
It's at 10 o'clock. Everybody decorates their kids' bikes in American regalia, and they ride down the street. It is WAF. It's a little Trumpy, let's be honest. But that's all good, baby.
We're out on that.
Shit, man. These are tough times for
We're not all good, depending upon how you look at it.
What's going on around here? You got cops and robbers.
I thought Ocean City was a safe place. We came down here to get away from the violence and everything that's going on in Philadelphia.
Somebody got stabbed down on the south side over there.
3 kids took backpacks onto the boardwalk.
Is that what happened? No, somebody got their ice cream stolen up at a la mode. That's definitely what it's all about. All right, well, so much going on. We're down here at the Shore. A lot going on back in Philly. As you guys may have noticed. And by the way, before I go further, I got my boy Rock Matthews here. Rock, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm Jesse Rendell. We got Mark Goodhart here. We got some notable people in the crowd. We got the Radical Squirrel. We got Trevor, our boy, Tall Teeth. We got DJ Durag, who's going to make an appearance on the pod momentarily.
DJ Durag.
This crowd is stacked.
Durag.
DJ Durag. Is that pretty good? It's not so bad. All right. DJ Durag recently was the DJ at the MTWB pickleball tournament. He killed it. Everyone's talking about it. He got lots of gigs out of it. So I'm working on a deal to get DJ Durag to be the house DJ.
Is he signed by anybody? Who's your agent?
I'm his agent. But I negotiated with him, and he hits me back like, oh, I don't know, man. Every Wednesday. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, are you serious, dude? This is the offer of a lifetime. I don't know. So we're going to have to work on that. But anyway, before we move on any further, let's bring in our guy. Now, he's got a different summer program, right? We're here at the beach. This guy went inland, and I can't tell if he's frozen or not. No, he's not. He's just being incredibly still.
Did you just spit?
There you go. You got the Zen out there, Tommy? What's going on, dude? How you doing?
You come out. You come out to the country, and you got to pick up some school. That's how it is.
I can barely hear you, champ.
You can spit anywhere you want out there in the country. Now, you're by the pool there. Where you at, Lancaster?
Yep. Out here in the lovely, lovely rolling hills.
Tell Rock real quick. You can't hear him because it's coming out of the TV, bud.
So, all right.
You know what I'm saying? Tommy's here.
Tom, what happened to your facial hair, man? What the hell is going on?
Tom, you got a job
God, you're scaring me, man.
What the frick happened?
This grill is too pretty to keep covered up forever.
And think about what the Radical Squirrel would look like without a mustache. And, at this point, it's very creepy.
Are you hiding from the cops, Tom? What's going on?
Was it the heat of the summer? Like, what was the motivation?
It's hot.
Oh.
Get rid of the mustache. I had to get rid of the mustache.
You had to get rid of the mustache. All right. Is that a retriever that went by the background?
I'm not cool enough. That's a squirrel move, and I'm not.
No,
I'm not that cool.
Stop it. You're the originator of cool, man. Come on. Let's be honest. You're the originator of cool. All right, Tom, let's get this kicked off because a lot has gone on since we last talked. It's been a couple weeks. We were kind of like seeing what was going to go down with the Sixers. Everything changed. I mean, all the teams went and did their thing. I know you got an opinion about this for sure. Go ahead. I'm going to let you rip on this.
Listen, there were, of all the options available, the Sixers got the best option. Like that's at the end of the day, that's it. There was nobody else we could have got that was better. I don't want Jimmy Butler. PG's been more productive lately. And you have to hope that JoJo, plays at the level he plays at, for the entire year without getting hurt. Maxey continues his development, and Nurse gets more out of these guys. And, even Oubre coming back, Eric Gordon, that's a solid squad, man. If they can stay healthy, I mean, that's,
So it sounds like you're bought in. You're fully bought in?
I'm bought in. Again, so they can break my heart. Because I can't be any other way. I don't want to be negative. I can't do it. It was the best option.
Were you initially bought in? So when they made the move, right? When they made the move a couple of days ago, were you like bought in right from the start, or it took a couple of days for it to sink in?
No, because we knew all the available players, and that PG was the best one. And once we got him, I was like, good. There's nothing else they could have done.
Can I be honest? You don't actually sound that fired up about it.
Well, I'm trying not to yell because I don't know how loud it is, and I don't want to yell into the AirPods and have it be,
No, you're good, dude. You sound great. Listen, in your defense, I think you're reacting like a lot of people in Philadelphia, right? Where it's like
measured.
Well, it's like we knew there was only so many options at that point, and I think the balance here is like we hope PG has good years left in him, but the 4-year deal makes us feel like, and I don't want to compare it to Toby. We know these guys are different players. It's not even fair to make a comparison, but that was a guy that we were in bed with for way too long. And now we're getting in bed with another guy who's a little long in the tooth. I will say, I did see PJ, PJ Tucker. I'm getting confused. Okay. I did see PG on his podcast. I know he's a big podcaster like us. At some point, he'll be as successful as City Pigeons, but he's getting there. I saw him today talking about how he's paying attention to everybody talking about him, and now he's ready to play bully ball. He's ready to be the bully. And that's kind of my hope, is like everybody talks about him. He's not clutch. He's been on all these different teams. Here's my biggest hope for him. I hope he's different than James Harden. You guys remember I went on a rant a couple years ago, I think at this point, where I said James Harden doesn't care. Harden's a loser. But Harden doesn't care who is on the front of his jersey, right? It's about James Harden. He doesn't care what team he's playing for. My hope with Paul George is that he's had enough of this shit, right? He's like, look, I've been on all these different teams. Everybody's saying I'm not clutch, this, that, and the next. I watch Maxey ball out. I know what Embiid's capable of. I'm going to bust my ass, come in here, and we're going to let it rip, and we're going to go win a chip to finally – I'm going to cement my legacy as a top-tier player in the NBA. But you got to hope that's what he's doing.
You know what it's about? It's about embracing the Philly, right? Toby Harris, James Harden, they never embraced what it meant to play for Philly. And I will say maybe Paul George will. Jimmy Butler did, but they got rid of him.
I got to interrupt you. Because
we'll see what happens.
Like, listen, people got on Toby's back, and I get it. There were moments, obviously, a lot of them where he came out small in the game. But I got to be honest with you, dude was a real one off the court. He was always a good dude. I felt like he was 100% bought into Philly. It had nothing to do with him.
He just has limitations.
Philly, right? It was his game. Like, it was just his game. He was always down to be like the Philly guy. Obviously, by the end, it had ran its course. You can't compare like Toby to Harden. Harden never gave a shit about Philly, dude. I'm sorry. That's just a fact.
Yeah. I want to know this, right? So I didn't listen to this podcast. I'm playing bully ball and all that. The last thing I saw that came out of his mouth was, it's not about winning championships. It's about playing the game the right way. Right? So to me,
record scratch.
Yeah. So it's like, is it about winning a championship, or is it about playing the game the right way? I mean, you come here, this city only needs one thing, right? We need a championship. It's not about playing the right way. You play the right way. I mean, you win a championship, that means you play the right way.
I prefer the bully ball comment that he made.
I want him to come in with the attitude that I'm on the end of my career. I'm playing with probably, when healthy, top 2-3 players in the league. I'm playing with an upcoming star. I'm the wingman. He's the guard. He's the center. It looks very good on paper. We should be in the hunt for a championship. And I'm at the end of my career. I want to win a championship. And that's what I'm here to do. That's all I'm here to do.
All right.
I want that attitude. I don't want to play. I want to play ball the right way.
This is where the whole social media and us watching clips gets messed up, because I got a feeling him saying he just wants to play the right way and it's not about winning championships might have been before he got signed by the Sixers.
This was after they lost in the first round to the Mavericks.
Then I need to hear what he said since he signed with the Sixers. That doesn't matter to me. Obviously, after you lose, but
that should always be your mentality when you're late, especially when you're late in your career. You should always be, I want to win a championship before I'm out of here. You know what I mean? I just lost in the first round of the playoffs. I'm playing with one of the best players in the world, Kawhi Leonard. I got James Harden doing whatever he does.
Not a top 20 player anymore.
Whatever. He should have been pissed that he did not win this championship, and that's his goal at this point. Somebody's coming over here.
A radical squirrel.
Did you just say Kawhi is not a top 20
Why don't you go
player?
join your teammate over there?
We got planes. All right, listen. We got our man Radical Squirrel in here. He's an OG down here. You guys know about Radical
He's a real
Squirrel.
big Sixers fan, by the way. He bought my Ben Simmons jersey from me when I knew that was a bad purchase.
China. Don't hold that against him. All right.
Big fan, not a smart fan.
Radical Squirrel, let us know how you feel about this, buddy.
That Simmons jersey was a terrible investment. However, the PG thing that I feel like we haven't discussed yet is the fact that he'll be number 3. So it's like he's always been either the guy, number 2 guy, him being able to sit in that corner, be able to spot up. And if he needs to, because I was also reading, like he actually has one of the lowest possessions for an all-star in terms of the possession time. So, I mean, he kind of fits perfectly on paper, but I think that's what comes in with the Philly situation. It's just like on paper, he's going to be very good.
Okay, but quick question. Do you think PG thinks he's number 3? There's no way. Like, what do you think he thinks he is?
He better think he's number 3. He's coming into a team that it's clearly Joel Embiid's team.
He thinks he's number 2. Tyrese has not earned.
When Maxey starts running by him in practice and he's like, I want no parts of that, he'll know he's number 3.
If he's coming in here thinking he's the number 2 or 1A or 1B or whatever, then he's better change his attitude real quick.
But does that even matter? You know what I mean? Because here's the thing that I love about it. It's like at the end of the game, and we've seen this. Now, last season, we saw Maxey take that step where, like, in those couple games against the Knicks, at the end of the game, he could do whatever it took to, like, win the game or stay in the game. We saw from Embiid for many years. You know, when he'd get locked down in the post and the double team would come and he'd try to do that swoop move and try to get fouled. Like, he was not the guy. And by the way,
if Embiid doesn't watch out,
game does not lend itself to being the guy in the game. But now,
if Embiid doesn't watch out, he will be Bill Cartwright and Maxey will be MJ.
You might be right.
Well, look, I think everyone knows that Embiid is capable of being the best player in the league. My point is now you get the ball to Embiid and you don't have just Maxey. You got PG. You got all these different guys. But by the way, real quick on the draft pick that we added, guys, are we going to have any experts coming up talking about the new draft pick? Do we have any young experts?
We had 2 young experts invited.
They declined.
One's at work and one is an unknown.
I see one.
I see one too.
One
she might be actively TikToking.
Can we get some insight on
Logan,
this TikTok or what,
right now? All right, we were hoping to have an expert talk about the TikTok prowess of the Sixers' #1 draft.
Is this
pick.
dude like he's that's his thing? He's like
Rock,
a big
you saw the
TikToking
Antonio Brown tweet. You sent it to me. Which we cannot even say what Antonio.
I know,
Brown
but I'm saying, like, so this dude really has like this gigantic like TikTok following, and like people,
3 million
all
followers.
these kids like knew who he was immediately.
And is it because he's a ex-Duke basketball player, or is it just because he was like a dancing
machine?
Okay.
Logan, did you know this guy before he got drafted by the Sixers? No, she didn't know.
Yeah,
okay, she didn't know. But still, 3 million TikTok followers. By the way, the Sixers. Okay, I love this. What's the guy's name? McClain.
John
I feel bad 'cause
John
I'm getting
McClain?
like
John
Die
McClain?
Hard. I'm getting like Die Hard, and then the politician. It's all in my head. It's totally screwed up. All right, the dude is like super popular on TikTok, right? Good for him. I mean, he's probably making a lot of money off that, and I have no hatred towards that. But then notice, as soon as he gets drafted, the Sixers did like a collaborative TikTok post with him. I don't know if you guys saw this. They're clearly trying to tap into this dude's social media.
Oh, they definitely are.
They're like, we can build our TikTok by drafting this guy. Now, if he gets buckets, he hits threes, totally good. I'm good with that.
So you're telling me it was a venture capital draft pick?
Yeah, I think so.
I want to know what Tom
Shocker.
thinks about the TikTok
Tommy,
guy.
what do you have to say about the TikTok and Sixers draft pick? What do you got out there in Lancaster?
Who cares what he's doing, man? If the kid can ball, he can ball. It doesn't matter. I don't care about any of that shit. Also, I just got hammered. I just got hammered for my PG over Jimmy Butler. Our boy Rudy texted me saying that Butler's been more productive than him in the last 4 years, and he's right.
Oh,
but Jimmy's getting old and tired. That's all. Sorry.
By the way, can I just say I totally neglected the chat. I had it on a different setting, and now I see it. And Fink is heavy in the chat, and he is mad at me because I gave Meech a shout out and I didn't shout out.
Hold on. If Fink's in the chat, that means he can dial in. Fink, what are you doing?
No, Fink is at dinner.
Okay, he's at dinner, but he's still in the chat. Pull that up, Fink. Pull up the StreamYard at dinner. You need to see.
Can we have any more motor vehicles?
Dude, somebody definitely got stabbed again around here, man. I don't feel safe down here in Ocean City.
All right,
I want to go home.
Nachard, if I'm saying this right, says McCain will be okay, but they will regret not taking Dalton Connect, who will be a star. Isn't Dalton Connect like 30 years old?
Connect
But he
Ford.
looks 12.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's look at some of these Fink. Look at this real quick.
Can I ask you a question? Rock, do you know who
Listen
Dalton
to
Connect
this.
is?
No.
Fink says, where
Who
the
the hell
F
is
is
that?
my shout out? Meech gets a shout out. And he also says, and by the way, I've seen one Eric Fink online looking very optimistic. He says, Sixers winning the title. Now, Fink, if you're listening to us, I've seen how excited you are about the moves the Sixers are making. And I think we all know part of that is because Daryl Morey bought hoagie trays from Fink's to give to the Sixers at the Sixers practice facility. We know that's a part of this. But I've also seen you're super excited about Mishkov, right? And the Flyers. You see this? Fink is all hyped up about the Flyers.
Yep.
Fink is back on the Flyers bandwagon. Are they going to let you back in the building so that you can cheer on the Flyers? That's something we got to find out about. I wanted to ask you about that, but you're up at Lake George. You're busy. It's cool. The pictures look great, man. We love you. Have a great trip. All right?
Fink, you got the link, man. Hit that link. Get on the
Fink
StreamYard,
got
bro.
the link. Boom. It's that easy.
The Flyers regular season schedule came out yesterday, by the way. Anyone
And?
else know that?
Very exciting. Do you still have season tickets?
I do.
Yeah, baby.
Nice.
If you want to go to the Flyers
41
game,
games, a lot of
hit
games.
up Mark Goodhart. Avery and Logan and Ben don't even care about hockey. Your chance to get in is now.
Is
before they get
Carter
hot.
Hart
Actually-
allowed back in the country?
No.
Carter Hart did not get
Oh, yeah. What
signed.
happened with that dude, man? What happened with that
I
guy?
actually got the tickets because of
Guys.
Logan, so I'm counting her for at least 15 games.
We're putting Carter Hart into the Howard Eskin bucket of probably a little too awkward for us to talk about on
Hey.
the podcast.
Hot take.
My bad. dude.
Is Miles
Yeah,
Bridges allowed in Pennsylvania?
Yes. You
I
need
just
him.
want to kiss
We're
you.
asking for Bridges to be signed despite DJ Durag piping up. DJ, do you want to jump in here, dude? Do you want to get the microphone and jump in? What's up? All right. Tommy. Wait, the funny thing is, Tom, it's way later where
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah,
How is that possible? You're not that far from us. What are you, an hour? You're like
Yeah,
3 hours.
2 hours
2 hours
west.
from us?
2 hours west. Yeah.
I guess that's the way it works, right? Sun sets in
Yeah.
the west. I'm no scientist, but it just seems like
Science
it's
is
too
real.
light right there.
To my left.
It does seem like, Tom, I have one other question. Not that we're kicking you out by any means, but before the podcast end tonight, are you going to do a belly flop into that pool?
Belly flop.
You should do it
Nude.
on the podcast.
Yeah, on the
Nude.
podcast.
Yeah, I kind of
Or cannonball or jackknife.
If you're
or-
listening
what
on
do we
any of the
got?
podcast platforms, Tom is coming to us from Lancaster. He's sitting in front of a wonderful pool, and he's being asked now to jump in the pool nude. We're not sure if that's going to happen, but it seems like a rational thought.
Nobody
to me.
wants that. Nobody wants that.
I don't know, Tom.
The
It
fans
would
wanna
be
see
good
it.
Nude to do a
content.
belly
It
flop?
would be good content. All right, let's bring in the esteemed DJ Durag. And he is kind of in he's like in mid-character between his normal self and his Durag self. I thought it was pretty clear that I wanted Durag, and I'm getting kind of an in-between. He's got like the headband. He's not fully in character. And to be honest with you, I just really wish he was going to lean
so much
into
better just to be myself sometimes, Jess.
Yeah, does it? All
Come
right.
on, dude.
All right. So how are you doing, DJ Durag? Has there been a flood of inquiries about your DJ abilities since the Make the World Better pickleball tournament and all of the hype surrounding that?
I mean, inquiries. Yes, there's been a lot of inquiries. There's been a lot of interest
Has there been?
there, but more so, there's been a lot of connections that we've made that are going to be,
Lifelong.
yeah. I mean, really, just kind of good things that we've really threaded throughout the couple weeks here.
We threaded them.
It sounds to me like your agent hasn't capitalized on any of these opportunities. You need a new agent. I mean, you got this guy here. He's supposed to be booking gigs for you. You're supposed to be playing
Charlie,
at the.
Did I not help source one potential gig for Night in Venice for
Oh,
you?
we got it. Yeah, we got that cooked. But
Yeah.
that's
Keep it
good.
on the low. Keep it on. You're
Yeah,
not supposed
I'll
to.
do that, man.
He's not acknowledging anything.
Let
you've
We
done.
me
I actually do have to. I have to do plug, since we are in Ocean City. I will be doing a nonprofit, another nonprofit one in the morning of Night in Venice, there is an Ocean City High School cross country 5K that's going off
For the people.
Yo, for the peeps. So I do I do it for the people. I do it.
You do.
Yo,
Do that.
I do
for the people.
do it for the people.
So your next gig is tomorrow at this. What is it? The bike race?
No. This is for the morning of.
No, I'm talking.
Night in
Great.
Venice.
I'm talking about your next gig coming up. Is it tomorrow for
Rob,
the bike
Night
race?
in Venice, also WAF. So you don't know anything about it. And right
Yo,
now,
I don't know shit about Night in
So-
Venice.
it
No,
involves
yeah.
boats.
Yeah.
This is
Are
great.
boats WAF?
Nah,
I think boats.
Yes.
Our boats
Yes.
are not WAF.
Oh,
Yes.
you asked
Yeah, a
about,
little
you asked
wacky.
about the date.
My
Yo,
people's
the
got some
date
bad
is
history with boats.
July 20th. July 20th,
So-
Saturday, July 20th
Oh shit.
at 8 a.m. is a 5K run
Okay.
for Ocean
I'm
City
sorry. Can you
High
translate that to
School
miles for me?
cross country.
3.1.
That's 3 and some change.
Yo,
I'll run it.
sign
Are
up.
you going to be DJing while I run?
DJ Durag will be there.
Yeah, while I
If
run.
he's
or-
not there,
Okay,
I'm gonna be.
okay, hold on.
yo, I'm gonna be so perturbed
Listen,
if he don't show.
I just had a thought. And why is
Can't
DJ
tell what's
Durag
going on at this
not
event.
on a float in the bike parade on 4th of July?
Oh,
You
yeah.
should be, because
Oh,
there's a guy on there who's singing, and I'm proud to be an American. You know what I mean? And you should be right behind him, like DJ Durag. Like, what are we doing here?
It's all. It all
Relative.
makes sense later in life.
Yeah.
It all works its way into the world. You
I
know,
get
it's one process at a time, and you know, you're just lucky if you were to book him. You would be lucky enough to have a very unique opportunity to see DJ Durag and his.
what's DJ Durag's playing? Like, what, are you playing hip hop? We got R&B. We got a little rock and roll. What's Durag's go to?
He pretty much opens the book up to almost anything, but specializes much in the golden era hip hop, because golden era hip hop to me is something that, you know, when I got in DJ Durag, and he said he could figure out what was the formulae for the greatest party of all time.
Mhm.
It always funnels back into the golden era.
What do you
So
consider the
DJ
golden era?
Durag sent you an email.
You did.
Wow.
Voicemail. And two.
What do you consider the golden era of hip hop? I'm just
like
curious.
anything from like pretty much 88, 89 through like 2008.
All right. So like the era, the golden era, the good golden era, like
Golden
the
era.
Wu
Something just
Tang.
occurred to me,
Golden
though.
era.
Something
I
just
just-
occurred to me. I don't think we've done a podcast since the pickleball tournament, right? We have
No,
not.
you haven't really.
Okay. We must recap that because it was a monumental event. And I'm not just saying that because I, had a hand in putting the whole thing on. Guys, let me tell you, if you're watching this and you're a fan of Philadelphia sports, it was a beautiful thing, right? So we have a pickleball tournament for the Make the World Better Foundation, which revitalizes public space in Philly. We're in the process of building a new rec center in South Philly. We've done 3 or 4. Connor Barwin found the organization. Tremendous cause. So we had this pickleball tournament. Second year we had it. Last year actually was tremendous. I was helping to plan the whole thing, and then it culminated with Kylie and Jason Kelsey playing against Connor and Laura Barwin, which at the time was like sick. Obviously, looking back on that, it was super sick. If we could have done that again, it would be amazing.
Do
But
you know who has a 2-0 record against Connor and Laura? Just saying.
I'm not sure, but I'm guessing it's the Goodhart team.
Sorry to interrupt. Go
Which,
ahead.
by the way, Avery winning the beach tennis. I mean, the Goodharts with the paddles are like freaking insane. They're like
Unstoppable.
ninjas. It's unbelievable. Ben
ahead.
probably is ready to play varsity tennis for all we know.
Talking about Ben Sampras over there.
Yeah, Ben Sampras. So, point being, this year I didn't know how it was going to go. We never know like who's going to show up. Best thing that ever happened. Bo Allen shows up, and Bo Allen has sought out Jake Elliott to be his partner. Now, Jake Elliott, guys, everybody knows is the kicker for the Eagles.
Best
And,
kicker in the league.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he's
Best
best kicker
athlete
in
in the league.
but best kicker in Eagles history, right?
By
I think
far.
he just
No.
said best athlete.
David Akers, bro. Don't
Okay.
disrespect David Akers like that.
So one has
Heard
a
he's
Super Bowl
really
championship,
sick
the
at
other does
golf.
not.
Whatever.
If you compare
He's
their stats, I
sick
actually think
golf.
Jake is. But anyway,
All right.
point is this: Jake is known. He's like a scratch golfer. He's known.
Yeah.
He's one of these like really good hand-eye guys. Obviously, he's a kicker. So Bo shows up with Jake, and it's funny. There was a team last year that was like unbelievable. It's actually a guy who works for the Arizona Cardinals, if you can believe it or not. and they kicked everybody's ass in the advanced division. This guy like owns a pickleball team or something like that. So I'm like, damn, like Jake and Bo are coming in. We'll see. I have never seen a display of athleticism and sports capability like I saw from Jake Elliott and Bo Allen. They dusted everybody in the advanced division. Some of you guys might have seen the footage of Jake doing the behind the back shot online. It was unbelievable. They took championship belts. You know, it was those guys, Malcolm Jenkins, Trent Cole. It was a fantastic event. DJ Durag was the DJ for the after party, which was super lit. And people have been talking
DJ
about it ever since.
Yo,
DJ Durag, what was your experience at the Make the World Better
Dude,
Pickleball Tournament?
I would love to talk about this a little longer, but we also have to talk about like what the draft, how everything went, like with the Eagles so far, and how we're doing this season.
Did you just change it to the
Yo, I mean,
I teed you up to talk about how
What are you
awesome
talking
it was
about,
for
dude?
you to DJ a spectacular event. And you're telling me to talk about the Eagles draft.
I mean, I
Shiggity
do
check
want to hear.
yourself before you wreck yourself, DJ Durag.
That's a DJ Durag
Yo,
special.
He also
So
does
the
every
party,
gig
yo, the
for
party
free.
was
So
I don't know. They always say you can lead a dog to water, but you can't make them.
How was the party, Durag?
Yo,
Talk about
it
your
was
DJ.
lit. It was
Thank
so
you.
lit. Thank you. Thank you.
And by the way, to anyone who said that you couldn't see our faces and it was too dark, look at this. Do you see this?
Wow.
It's beautiful out here.
It's almost
It's
too
got
bright.
an Auburn
is
sun.
this a real
My eyes
background
are
or a
light.
Take a
fake
look.
background?
Take a look.
Yo, it was
I
lit.
can't tell.
So what I did for the first party,
Woo!
yo, the people
The
were
Durag appearances, everything was cracked up today.
popping and DJ non-stopping. Yo,
I got to know real quick, DJ Durag, what's the go-to closing song for the night for DJ Durag?
oh, well, actually, we had to start the night. Let me like preface
All right.
by how we started.
How you started?
It was so hot that day.
Okay, so hot in here. All right.
Double R. So hot in her. That's
I'm
right.
reluctantly showing this.
Yeah.
And then what do you close? Then what do you close it with?
There
one
were
wants to know
a
about
lot of there were a lot of ladies left on the dance floor. So
Okay.
they were asking for a Madonna and
Oh,
yo.
that's disappointing.
All right.
Disappointing?
DJ,
I'm disappointed
thank you.
with that.
Thank you
What's
for
your-
your input. Thank you. Listen, the offer's still on the table for you to be the house DJ of the City Pigeons podcast, right? We do a nice little intro. Then when it's time to outro, say, DJ Durag, shut it down. That's on the table for you. Consider it. If it's too much of a commitment for you, fine, man.
This is what you
I'm
do.
just trying my best.
This is how you negotiate.
Week by
Tell them
week,
you
give
want to.
you
Tell them you want
This is
a
a
permanent spot in the coop. Like you need like a little spot
Freaking
built for you. You know what I mean?
sponsored by the Goodhart firm. There you go.
Freaking ridiculous.
It's that easy.
Giving up on my whole
All right.
other life.
Durag.
Tom, can we? You know what?
Tommy, speaking of soundtracks, what would you say the soundtrack of Lancaster is? Oh, another spit
He's
out there in the
spitting, he's
country.
spitting.
Are you chewing? Are you
The
chewing?
soundtrack
dipping?
out here,
Leave
it's
him alone.
more the soundtrack is more the smell than the sound. It's all the manure
smell?
and all that. So the soundtrack would be the click clack of the horse and buggy, and it's just everything is so much slower.
You're out
so the
there, out
sounds
there, huh?
Honestly,
are
man,
different.
for my mental health,
That's whack.
I feel like
Yeah.
I could use the click clack of the horse and buggy, man. Straight up. Like I really
It's
feel like I
wild.
could use that. I might have to come out there.
Some
Tommy.
solitude.
What?
Solitude is
Please
real.
do.
Also,
What do you mean,
not discussed.
You can use the horse and buggy.
The click clack.
Oh.
I don't understand what you're saying.
All right, no.
I could use the click clack of the horse and buggy
Yeah.
for my mental health. Because look at
Gotcha.
Tommy. Does he not look totally peaceful? And
Yeah.
He's chilled he's
we're
chilled
out here.
the
There's
hell out
helicopters.
there.
There's planes. There's fire trucks.
You're out there on the
police
mean
cars.
streets of Ocean City.
Is just crazy recently.
What's the fireworks scene on July 4th in Lancaster? Are people setting off like a lot
it's
of
gotta be, like,
explosives out there?
unregulated,
What's going
right?
on?
It's not as bad as it is anywhere else, which is kind of cool because I don't like all that shit being too loud forever. So it's actually not as prolific as you would think.
No. Do you don't shoot them off yourself?
Nah, I never really got into the fireworks, man.
Yeah, no, he has 10 fingers.
You're not a
dude.
fireworksman? Okay.
I'm not.
Interestingly, the Radical Squirrel and his family are purveyors of fireworks, and they have.
Well, he's a
often
professional.
bought
I'm not.
them
I'll watch him
illegitimately.
do it.
They have bought them in states and then trafficked them illegitimately back here so that they could have great, displays on July 4th. We thank them for that. They've
Listen,
almost died.
can we
on
just
certain
pour one out right
occasions. I
now
think
for all
that's
the
a known
people
fact.
that have
Squirrel,
10 fingers right
can-
now that won't have them tomorrow?
Yeah, you got 10, unlike Pierre Paul, right? Okay, so Squirrel, can you speak to your family's history when it comes to fireworks and your plan for tomorrow?
I thought you never ask. So
Thank you. That's much better than DJ Durag trying to get me to talk about the Eagles. Thank you.
true story is the fact that Jamie, my oldest brother, actually had one of those tubes with the fireworks, and he actually held it against his body, thinking that would be a smart idea. It got stuck in there. It blew backwards and actually exploded all over his chest. So, July 4th, be careful out there, folks. It happens pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Wait, when did this happen?
And he's a
Firework
professional.
displays, like homemade
Yes,
firework displays
professional.
like this, WAF.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, fireworks.
Dude, fireworks.
Yeah.
If you're in like West Philly,
fireworks pop off.
Yeah,
in the
you
city,
play that
like,
game as if fireworks are gunshots in the city. So fireworks are a thing it's for everyone.
That
Put it
reminds
way.
me,
Yeah.
right around the time of COVID and everything was going with the social justice protest stuff, like you couldn't tell what was going on. I mean, it was fireworks constantly, gunshots, you know.
That was a good time.
I guess I'm
It was
just so
real
used to
life.
seeing.
That was when they had the
Yeah.
helicopters. They had the helicopters every night flying low
Wait, hold
over
on.
the city.
Say that again, Tommy.
I said they also had the helicopters flying really low over the city during all
Yeah.
that stuff too. Every
Mhm.
single night, man, it was wild.
I
Then-
give you guys credit. You didn't leave the city after that, you know, Tom and Mark. You know, I mean, Tom, you kind of went to Lancaster now, but you didn't. It's fine. You're good. You're good. It's all good.
Where are you gonna go?
You know, people.
You didn't leave the city. You're still in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like city. I got you.
Go birds. Go birds.
Wait, real quick. When did Jamie blow his chest off?
I mean, this was a long time ago. This
I
was
gotta
like
tell you,
I thought this was like
15. Yeah.
For a guy who blew
backwards.
his chest off, he looks pretty good.
I thought this was
Well,
recently.
Also not discussed since
I
the
wish I
last
could blow my
podcast
chest off.
was the Kelsey event.
Kelsey was good times.
You didn't want to get into it?
No, we can totally get into it. Some strong bonding, I think.
lot of
If I
bonding.
could, I would bring up the video of one radical squirrel getting fireball poured into his mouth from the bottle, which was being held by Brandon Graham, right? Which I was able to negotiate because I had played golf with Brandon at Jason Kelsey's event, and I said, Brandon,
That's correct.
in
I was
this
about
guy's mouth.
I was about 6 people deep. I was not getting anywhere near the bar. Jesse put up his hand, and BG saw him immediately, and then proceeded to put that fireball shot right down my gutlet. And sure enough, I felt like a hero.
And you know, the
Nice.
truth is this, Mark, we were talking about this earlier. It's kind of like, you don't know what you're doing in life. Why do I do this? Why do I do that? Why do I pay to go to this Kelsey event and then go and pay a bunch of money for the drinks when I'm there? You know what the truth
For children, because it
is?
was a
It's
fundraiser.
it's about the children, but it's about the relationships. Because when BG sees me, he's like, oh, that's my guy. And I say, BG, in his mouth. And then he pours the fireball into Squirrel's mouth.
BG, put it in his mouth right now.
I'm like, that has to mean something.
It was
in the
a
universe.
core
Yeah.
memory for me. I mean, I think it solidified BG as being one of the favorite Eagles.
Hell yeah.
November game, the home game has to be your indoctrination.
Oh, that's right.
You
So
guys have to
So
promise that.
DJ Durag, okay, DJ Durag,
Yeah,
you
I
will be okay.
I will
Thank you,
DJ.
thank
Yeah.
you.
It's also going to be a Kelly Green night.
All right, so real. Oh, do you know that for sure?
I do.
Okay,
Wow.
so guys,
Inside
hold
info.
on. Shh, we talked about this.
Squirrel on football.
Okay, we talked about this. It turns out that Brad Moran was once confused, and he was a big Jacksonville Jaguars fan. So happens the Eagles are playing the Jaguars at home this year. We will have a tailgate for that game potentially. I don't even know what time it is. We'll figure it out.
Exactly.
Turns out it's a Kelly Green game.
Do I have to leave now?
It's going to
for
be
the
a night
stadium?
game. It's going to be
But here's the most important thing. We are going to have, and I've been talking about this for years, and this is when it's finally going to
Yep, yep.
happen. And by the way, I want the press to cover this. Someone get in touch with the Inquirer. We're going to have a baptism because though he's wearing an Eagles hat, he has not fully rid himself of the stain of being a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. And we will dip him into the waters of Philadelphia. And by the way, this water, it won't just be regular water. We
No.
will bring this water
Fireball.
from the Schuylkill River.
And fireball.
We will bring it from the Schuylkill River, and we will dip him into this water, and he will emerge, reborn as 100% Eagles fan,
Beautiful.
and we will burn every piece of Jaguars paraphernalia that he has. And I will rely on Trevor Moran to see to it that he scours through every house, apartment, garage, and he gets every piece of Jacksonville Jaguars attire, and we will burn it at the stake.
As far as I'm concerned, Squirrel's a real Eagles fan, man. He's been off that Jaguar shit for a while.
Thanks, Rob.
Man.
Why are you killing
I got a lot of haters.
I mean,
Jesse
the
just
kid
set
liked
that
the
up.
Jags for a while when he was young and dumb, but he's an
That was like
Eagles
2
fan.
years ago.
2 years ago. How could you?
Nah,
Didn't you
I was
I
with
feel like
you.
Squirrel's been down for the
Thank
cause
you,
for a
Rob.
long time, but I would still like to see him
Rob,
get
stop
dipped in some
stop
of that
raining
scoop
on our
punch.
parade.
I will take.
Hold on. Shh, guys, I have receipts, and I don't want to do this, but I do recall being at the Super Bowl watch party on Fairmount Ave at a friend's establishment,
Mm-hmm.
and Brad was there, and he was not fully partaking because he didn't feel like he was justified because he didn't feel like a true Eagles fan. True or false, Brad? Speak to it.
Can I be honest?
Yes.
So the whole transition took me
lying
a
to
lot
me the rest
longer.
of
I've
your
been in
life?
the closet for a while, but I've been trying to transition into the fact of an Eagles fan. However, I always knew that my fanhood would always be questioned once I changed, and this was always going to forever taint me as not being a true fan. Right. And as a diehard non-Eagles fan, diehard football fan, I always knew like being questioned about your fanhood was going to be tough. But you know what? I took the leap, and I'll take the hate for what am I at? Like 5 years now at this point?
Are
Smartened
you
up,
ready to be baptized, though?
Oh, I'm ready. I'll take that pink right in the eye from the scoop goal. I'm only concerned about Tall Teeth because he's been holding on to this for a long time.
Seriously.
I'm a little concerned. You get a couple fireball nips in him. What could happen?
Wait,
Should have dipped him in that 676 when that was
He's gonna hold you down under the water.
Let me say something really quick because I want to admit, Tall Teeth, and you're free to come up here and join if you'd like. We have an extra mic here, by the way, that I set up, so you could both be involved. But it is without question, Trevor, Brad's brother, otherwise known as Tall Teeth, Radical Squirrel, Tall Teeth brothers. Trevor has certainly at times used Brad's Jaguars fandom and his transition against him in an effort to make sure that he secures tickets to Eagles games.
Oh,
There's no question. And so
that's the inside path right there. That's the move.
It begs the question that if Brad is fully baptized, can he do that anymore, or are all bets off? And that's the only question you got to ask. Give him room here.
Trev, you got to step to the right a little bit.
I think at the end of the day, my Eagles fandom has always been proven from day one. There was never any question.
Were you a fan at 6?
At 6 years old?
I don't think so, bud.
Listen. I saw Herschel Walker return a kick as my first game. But yeah, at the end of the day, I do feel like I got the most to lose out of Brad getting tickets and everything like that. Seeing BG pour the fireball shot into his mouth and everything, that did give me a little bit of hope that this is a true transition. It's not a flip-flop. But
you got to cut the genitals. All right, I'm sorry.
But yeah, I do plan on being there. I do plan on being the one to hold his head underwater for an extra couple seconds. I really want to see that kick happen. Maybe the body go limp, and then we'll let him up.
Yeah. It's a plan.
Wow. I don't even know.
This reminds me, so before we all were hanging out as much when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, I live, as most of you know, across the street from a funeral home. And during the parade, the owners of the funeral home brought a coffin out on wheels with a mummified Tom Brady.
Are you serious?
In the coffin, and they rolled it out onto Broad Street during the parade, down our street, and it was amazing. And for some reason, that's what I'm.
Maybe we could also bring in an Undertaker situation into this, where I kind of come out of the coffin.
Have you seen that meme where the guy kind of pops out of the coffin on the bell?
Exactly.
These ideas are getting out of hand. This is ridiculous.
It's all
Let's
the
just
same
dump
idea. It's all the same idea, right? That Brad.
This is what we do. We
will
get
be resurrected in the spirit.
Let's just make it real simple. One of these tailgates, we'll get one of those inflatable kiddie pools. We'll put some Schuylkill punch in it. Squirrel gets dunked in it. That's it.
Can we make it a fireball pool?
If you want.
No.
Want.
I'm going to make this as overly dramatic as possible, man. All right. That is the commitment. Okay. Can you hand me that bottle right there real quick, guys? Because I just want to give a shout out to Mark. Who are we shouting out here? Who gave this to you?
My buddy Chris King. Actually, I played golf with him yesterday, and as a thank you for some business I sent him, he brought me that.
The Lombardi Trophy. I'm so excited
is
to
the
hold
most
it.
beautiful gift you can get a man.
Can I just be honest with you?
It's a vase filled with tequila.
Yeah, but I mean,
Great
it's a
tequila.
beautiful bottle, obviously. Clase Azul. Everybody's heard of this, I think. It's so good. It's unbelievable. And I
Smells
thank
delicious
you
over here. I
for
wish I had
having,
it. Sip.
I thank you for having someone that would give this to you.
Yeah, Chris King.
Thank
He's
you
the man.
for that, Chris. Shout out, buddy. We appreciate you. All right, I'm gonna pour a little of this in my glass, but I'm gonna take a moment here because I think everyone needs to hear about this. We were talking. A certain somebody was gone for a couple of weeks, and it just went under the radar. But he traveled to the great state of Georgia, and you know Georgia, where all of the Eagles players were drafted from. Great football, peaches. So this guy went to Georgia for a couple of weeks. I don't know why you go to Georgia for a couple of weeks, but we have to hear from him.
Well,
Rocky, how was your trip to Georgia?
It was fantastic, but it was the country of Georgia, not the state of Georgia.
Oh, you went
Curb Your Enthusiasm thing?
truthfully, I didn't know there was a country named Georgia.
I mean,
a country named North Carolina as well?
There is a country called North Carolina.
Is there?
Just kidding. But there is a country called Georgia. It's not south of whatever's. What's above Georgia, the state? South Carolina. But Georgia is it's a beautiful country. It's a beaten country, I would say. So they have a long history of just being overtaken by other countries. So they were taken over by the Turkish, the Armenians, the Russians
Unlike
again.
the U.S., we have a long history of taking over other countries. That's why we're all jerks.
Exactly. I mean,
hey man, it's July 3rd, man. Go.
It kind of works, but
you got to point that out of pocket.
It's the third. It's
Mark,
the
get
third.
this out of my hand.
Let me get a pop of that, actually.
Yeah, why don't you send that over? But
Yeah, wait, hold on. Hold on. Is this a pour of tequila in there?
That's a glass.
oh my god!
Where's the ice? Got away from me.
Oh boy.
Anyway, so back to the country of Georgia. Georgia is it's a beautiful country. It's they had a rough past, but now it's one of these places that people are starting to go to and visit. The dollar goes a long way out there. It's a beautiful place. You can do a lot of tourism. You can go up into the Caucasus Mountains, which we went up there and saw some beautiful mountains. We did, you did the touristy stuff. I had my, my camera out. My wife's with me. My wife's right over there. She, she wants to
She's
say
from
anything.
Georgia, right?
No, she's not from Georgia.
Why did you guys go to Georgia? Someone please.
That's
explain
my
this to me.
question. Whose idea was it?
Lindsay
I
from
think I
Georgia,
know
can you chime in?
whose idea it was amongst the two of you. But yes, obviously you discussed it. I love it. It was amazing.
When it comes,
like you had an amazing time.
when it comes to this, when it comes to these foreign country
100%.
vacations, I got no say, bro. I'm like, that sounds good to me. It's like she went to Portugal, and I was like, all right, that sounds cool. And I went and I had a blast. She's like, well, we're going to go to.
And to have a husband that is so go with the flow and just will
Portugal,
is
Georgia.
adaptable. I mean,
Great guy.
Yeah, and you know what? We went to
nice.
Georgia. I was like, whatever. It's kind of close to Russia. I might catch a bomb in my head, but you know what? It was way far. We went. We're in the capital city, Tbilisi, which is a nice, beautiful city, way far away from anything going on in Russia and the Ukraine. And the first couple hours, I was like, I don't know what the hell could happen here, but once you get settled in, it's just a nice place to go, a nice place to visit. Everything's cheap. The dollar goes a long way. Food's great. The scenery's
When you got
great.
on the plane, did you think you were going to Georgia, like Atlanta, or Georgia?
Wait a
around
second.
the world?
No.
Atlanta?
I'm not a dumbass. I mean, when I first of all, we left from JFK, so I'm like, if we're going to Atlanta, then why the hell are we going north first? But once I got on that first plane, that was about 12, 13 hours. I knew we weren't heading down south, bro. I knew we stopped through Doha, which is a wild place in itself. I don't know who. I'm sure world traveler Tall Teeth has been through Doha once or twice in his life, and that place is fucking
been everywhere.
That place is pretty
Do
fucking
they have
wild.
drones in Georgia? That's what I want to know.
Guitar, like,
All right, Trev,
Yeah.
wait, come in here and grab this microphone, and I want you to tell us. For those who don't know, Trev, step into the frame. Just step in front of your brother. Okay.
Do you want me out?
Back
No,
to
no,
the
you're
Jaguar
good.
situation here.
Trevor
can
is a professional photographer who has photographed some of the most iconic surfing photos all around the world. Oh my gosh!
Oh, what's going on here? What's going on?
Who
I'm
did it?
tweaking.
Who did it?
Am I having a
Who did it?
seizure? Am I having
Wow.
a seizure?
I don't know what happened.
I am
here.
the lighting tech, and I don't know what's going on.
Well, it's
Just
kind of cool. Like I'm kind of feeling it.
cool.
You've got a lighting situation.
somebody
All
might
right,
have sat
Trevor.
on the remote.
In all your travels, following the world
They're
tour,
about to be like
Photographing
100 16-year-old
surfers.
kids coming up here.
what is the craziest place situation that you've ever been in where you're like, what the hell am I doing here? What is going on?
Hold on, let me come up with a good one here. There was There's one time, it doesn't really matter if you don't know surfing, but these guys, actually, the one guy everybody should know is Mick Fanning. He was like attacked by a shark on a camera that a lot of people saw that great white shark in South Africa.
Scary.
So I got to know him pretty well. He's like a world champion and everything like that. And we went to London one time after an event, and I kind of I sent it to DJ Durag where I was like, oh, I'm like winging over to London with the Stones and everything and Mick, and I don't know what's going on with our lights here, but
Me either. Just keep going.
Long story short,
We look kind of cool though. Look.
Jess, get your hand off of that, man.
I guess at the end of the day, you kind of like get around these guys. So you get plugged into these weird, random one-offs. And we had this time in London one time that was just hanging out with very high roller-esque kind of people.
Drop some names, dude. Stop bullshitting. This is the podcast.
Sounds like we're getting 5% of this story.
Was Ed Sheeran there?
No, it's not even good enough of a story. Let me back out and just find it. Okay,
King Charles.
I got another one with Kelly Slater. We went and saw Eddie
Kelly
Vedder.
Slater. Stop. Kelly Slater, 11 times world champion, greatest surfer of all time. If you guys like know anything about sports or whatever, he's like Tiger Woods of surfing, greatest surfer that ever walked the planet. Travis with Kelly Slater, go.
And,
Eddie Vedder.
Eddie Vedder.
And so,
Yeah.
via our friend CJ Hobgood, who is friends with Kelly Slater, linked us up to go to see Eddie Vedder in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Rio de Janeiro is fucking awesome.
Is that where the Eagles are playing?
They are actually are going to Sao Paulo, and we should still go to
gonna
that. And I
go.
will definitely lead the way on that trip.
I'm in.
But
Danielle, can I go to Sao Paulo for the Eagles game?
Danielle, can you fix those lights?
steakhouses?
Can you see
the
if
whole
those
ni-
are
the
still
whole
plugged
9
in?
yards.
Are these
The white
yellow
cord?
shots?
But anyway, we got to go see Eddie Vedder, hang out with him, and watch him play a show in like some sold out arena. Slater gets on the acoustic guitar and everything like that, and this is
I got
going
you.
well. So pretty much, I don't know, just hanging out with Eddie Vedder in Brazil one time, backstage playing acoustic guitar and everything like that. Honestly, like you guys are talking about this with Spike, where it's like maybe Pearl Jam wasn't your favorite band or anything like that, but I've seen Eddie Vedder a couple times through the surfing stuff.
You gotta respect it.
Oh, dude, I got another one. Jimmy Buffett as well. People on the beach there that they were like, they've been waiting their entire life to see Jimmy Buffett before, and he's playing on a beach for 20 people and got to be a part of that as well, which is super awesome.
Pearl Jam's coming to Philly in the fall. And
I'm
I'm not
go.
the biggest
I've
Pearl
never
Jam
seen
fan, but
Pearl
I'm going to
Jam.
go to both shows.
Like, honestly, I wasn't like, I've seen multiple people that I'm not a fan going in, and then you see their show and you're like, that's why this person's as big as they are, is that like they put on such a crazy show.
Yeah, and they have a crazy catalog at this point. I'm totally down. Well, Kelly Slater, Eddie Vedder, that is an excellent story. Rocky, your Georgia story. Thank you for telling everyone about how great it is to be in Georgia. And you know, on an international note, I wanted to turn to my good friend Mark Goodhart. By the way, I have no idea what happened with our lights. We'll try to get those back. If you're watching us, it actually looks cool anyway. I'm looking at it.
It looks
cool.
terrible.
We can't see ourselves, let alone
looks
Rocky.
Squirrel's got his hand on my knee. I don't know what's going on over here.
I think it looks great.
Okay, so Mark, I got to come to you because yet again, everybody wants me to buy into soccer and football, whatever you want to call it, and U.S. this, but our U.S. men's team is just a disappointment over and over. And you know what? If we can't compete with the rest of the world, why should I care? Mark, tell me why to care. Tell me why.
I got to be honest. I wouldn't care about this team at all right now. What they did in Copa America is a complete disgrace. Or maybe it's not. Maybe we just are who we are and who we've always been.
We are who we thought we were.
Berhalter
In
is a joke.
theory, the
and he's
U.S.
gotta go.
has put out the best team they've ever put out in years.
There we go.
Not just years. In theory, they put out the best team they've ever put out. That this is the new American soccer. It's the juggernaut. It's the golden era.
Sick
Like
of this.
And guess what? We fizzled out. We were dependent upon arguing about a video review that came down to less than a millimeter. Score a goal. And then like have a complaint.
Score a goal.
Score a goal.
Just one.
Like Christian Pulisic, these guys, like they all play on these big time teams, and then they get together with America and nothing.
Thomas Henneman checks in and says,
And we have
been saying
the
that for
World
30 years.
Cup
Thank
in
you, Thomas.
our country, in Philadelphia. It's going to be amazing. I mean,
You
go
know
to
what?
the World Cup.
When it comes down
Go
to
to the World Cup.
when it comes down to soccer in the U.S., right? This is what it's going to be. Soccer is not popular here, so you're not going to get the best athletes in America playing soccer.
I
So
disagree. We have Messi playing in the MLS. The women's team
I'm talking
has
about
been a juggernaut for decades. We have all the
Well, in
resources in
terms
the
of-
world.
wait,
In fact, it's the only sport that we can't ever break through.
because the best athletes in America go play football, basketball, baseball. They don't play soccer here, man. Soccer is just not the big sport here. And the reason the females are so good, no disrespect to females, but in other countries, females are just being held back because they're like probably not allowed to play sport. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. You know what I mean? It's just not looked at as being like the thing to do in these other countries, man.
What just happened?
Very
good?
Nothing happened. Yeah, we're good.
We're great.
Bottom line is
Something about
soccer
women's
is
rights.
never going to be big in America because the best athletes in America go play, I mean, in my opinion, better sports.
We've never been supposedly as good as we are now, and we have never
It's
not
not
made
good
the
enough.
elimination round in a tournament we hosted.
Not good enough.
Not good enough.
Mark is calling
Not
for
acceptable.
better soccer.
Until you got the LeBrons and Bryce Harper and whoever else is of the worlds, the Jalen Hurts is playing soccer, the America's not going to be
Christian
good.
Pulisic,
Who?
Reina, these guys are
Who?
premier players.
Who?
Premier players overseas. They're not nobodies. They are in the Premier League playing on the best teams. Like, we don't have nobody anymore. When they come together and they play for the US.
I'm just saying, if we had some of the best athletes in America focusing on playing soccer, then the American teams will be good, but we just don't, man.
Joel Embiid's a good soccer player.
Totally agree with Rock, to be clear.
Joel Embiid's fucking 7'2", man.
Good to know, Joe. All right.
Anyway, that's my international sports take of the week. Other than the fact that Wimbledon is going on, and I love Wimbledon. Honestly, there is not many things better in the world than watching Wimbledon. It occurs at a time in the summer when we just want to chill out, lay on the couch, watch TV,
You know
watch
what?
sports, and everything else is sort of at a lull other than baseball. And Wimbledon
Also, the Goodhart
is
family
the
is
best.
racket sport professionals. So you're seeing that and you're like, you can relate to that.
Wimbledon's cool, but I don't like the whole dress code and trying to be super proper there. It's time to
I agree with
turn
that.
up. Time
That's
to turn
pretty
up.
waff. I mean, let's be
Yeah.
honest.
I gotta tell
You
you,
can laugh as sh-
I don't even think that's
what's
whack.
not
I
whack
think
is
that's
that Coco Gauff is the most amazing American athlete right now. Don't sleep on Coco Gauff. She's an
she's
unbelievable person,
Love
unbelievable tennis
Coco.
player. She is so cool. She's so calm. She's so collected.
Can you
Listen-
sleep on someone who's dominant in tennis?
She
Apparently I
hasn't won
can.
all the majors yet. And what I'm saying is, don't sleep on her as setting the tone of athletics in America. You know, Rock was sort of ragging on women's sports. And I just want to point
I'm
out
not
Coco
ragging
Gauff,
on women's
you know.
sports at all. I'm just saying that
Rock
women
did say he does not like women's sports.
all right.
Got him. Okay.
You guys are ridiculous.
This is the last thing I want to get into here because we only have a couple minutes. We had a hard cutoff. We've got to finish this thing.
I got to eat dinner, man. I'm starving.
And I just have a
Yeah,
gift for you
so
before we go.
bad. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So I realized recently there's this social phenomenon that's going on. You guys have heard of the Hawk Tuah situation, right? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I realized that it's like this was a pivotal moment in our society's history where you could tell a lot about somebody, whether they knew what that was. You know
Can
what
we
I mean?
get a show of hands in the audience? Who knows the Hawk Tuah girl? Brad, of course.
Okay.
Okay, Trevor.
I can't even see what's going on out there, bro.
Charlie, put your hand up. Danielle.
Danielle, of course.
Come on, Danielle.
Nobody
You
on the
don't-
left
you
side.
Lindsay?
Ben?
Okay, but that means you know.
Jess.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
DJ Durag back in the
Dude,
mix.
Durag was dropping that the whole time during
Right.
the, yeah.
So we know you know. Yes.
I
So
give it a
DJ Durag incorporated Hawk Tuah into his DJ set. For that, we are thankful. But what I realized as I was going around like talking to people about this is like it basically if you went to somebody and you were like, do you know what this is? And they were like, no, that probably was a good thing. You know what I mean? Like only people who like are online like knew what that was. And they could be like,
one
oh,
out of-
that's so funny.
One
But
out
everyone
of
else is
two
like, what is
Danielles
that?
knew who she is. Knows who she is.
I called it the Hawk
And
Tuah
I don't look
social
down at the
awareness
Danielle
test.
who knew when you say it's a good thing not to know. I think it's just a fact of like
I mean,
navigation.
bottom line, this is what it is. This is what it is.
I think you're a sus person. If you don't know what the Hawk Tuah thing is, you're a sus.
Yeah, this is what it is. If you're
Yeah, I think you're
online,
wrong.
if you're on social media of any sorts,
You're sus.
if you're on social media every day, like most people are, you know who this girl is, or you heard of this girl. Bottom line.
This is my point. I felt so pathetic because I was trying to be like, hey, isn't this funny? And I encountered people who are like, what are you talking about? And then I started trying to see.
Who did you
like,
encounter?
My wife
like,
had no idea what it was. My family friends had no idea what it was. And I realized, you know what? You're probably not looking at social media every day. And I was like, damn, I feel pathetic.
But you know what's amazing is that my 13-year-old daughter doesn't know what it is, and I assume
She's
they
lying.
know everything.
she's lying like a
That's
motherfucker.
shocking.
You think she's lying?
Logan,
Yeah, that's not
For
even
real?
real. Yeah,
Logan,
come on.
for real?
She knows.
Yeah, she knows.
Yeah.
All right,
Sorry.
fine, she knows.
Now I feel bad. For that whole thing.
God damn it, you ruined
Yo,
it.
Paul George. Shout out Paul George. Let's go, baby.
PG, perpetually processing, baby.
Whoa, what's going on there?
Tom,
Oh, we got the blue
It's finally
light.
dark out west.
Here comes the naked dive.
everyone is reacting to the fact that Tom is now, it is dark and we can see the pool is lit. And Tom, I think you were going to send us off in appropriate fashion.
Yes.
Here. And
Tom,
we're just
Can I give you a
Tom,
gift first
Tom.
before we send it
Oh
off?
yeah, give him
all
the
right,
gift.
Tom, hold on one second, buddy. He's going to give me a gift here.
So I may or may not have stolen this from my daughter, who's 21, because she went shopping for some goodies for the weekend. She's at work though; she's hard
So
working
much
there. But I saw this, Jesse, and it brought me back to a very memorable day.
No,
And
I know
I just
exactly
sort of
what you're
had
talking
to
about.
take it and bring it here tonight.
this is special. Okay, for everyone who doesn't know, Mark just gave me a container that has Slurp shots. They are gelatin shots. Okay. And while that doesn't seem all that special to you, I want you to understand something. There was a day when myself and Mr. Goodhart and a friend of ours, Dan Greenberg, we came back to my house to watch the Phillies' first playoff game 2 years ago when they started their playoff run. And somehow, I remember, we went to Chubby's to get cheesesteaks. And while in line at Chubby's, we said, what are those? And they said, oh, well, this is a canister of Jell-O shots. And we said, well, we will need to get those from you. So we bought the Jell-O shots and we went back to my house. It was a day game. If you
Yes.
recall correctly.
Yes, 3 p.m. game.
It was the day game. And if you guys remember, this was the game where the first game against the Cardinals, it was, I remember going to this because the away series where you have to play, it was the first year we have to play 3 games on the road.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the Phillies showed no signs of life. And then they got into it was like the 9th inning. And next thing you know, one thing led to another. We ended up winning the game. And some people say it was the gelatin packed Jell-O shot jar that started this rise to relevance.
Nobody said that.
Of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Some
so
are
Mark
saying
giving this to me is very symbolic. It's very meaningful. I thank you. This is
I'm
something
surprised
little
that
And
you
to
carry
put it
with
in
us.
perspective, that is the year that Bryce Harper hit the home run to win the NLCS.
And
we lost to Houston in the World
to be
Series.
clear,
So it was like a difference maker.
Yeah, it's already
to,
open.
To memorialize this occasion, we will insist that everyone here
Oh, hell
takes
yeah.
one of these Ecto Cooler.
These are organic.
Pass them
Jell-O
around
shots.
pass them to the crowd. Make sure
Yeah,
Ben
the
gets a
crowd has to
couple.
have one too. Guys, I can't see where you're at.
These,
Don't.
these say
Lindsay.
slurp
Ready?
with
Lindsay.
3 R's.
Lindsay's not taking one of those.
Have this.
Let me get a red one for the Phils.
Guys, our camera angle
Oh,
is,
Rocky
Can I
on
just say this?
baseball.
listen,
Oh, I forgot about Rocky on
I
baseball.
You
spun
can't, we
this.
can't.
No.
Listen, and by
I'm
the way,
coming back
thank
with
you.
Rocky on
Hold on,
baseball.
I wanna
Maybe
say
I would
something
get
real
one.
quick.
Wait, can I get one?
I didn't give you one.
No, you didn't give us.
Well, you
I
told
didn't
us
get
to
one
throw
either.
them out.
You tossed
got
out like 4 of them.
Okay, I just want to say thank you.
Danielle's, did you get
I
one?
still don't have one.
I see a lot of people talking about they're on different platforms. They don't know who's watching.
I'm still without one.
Okay,
Thank you.
DJ Durag, great job. I don't know how this all works, guys, but I think that right now I see 314 people who are paying attention to this. And I just want to say,
Wow.
I thank every one of you.
Seriously.
We spun this thing up here in a half an hour. We're having a great time. If you
Yeah, we didn't
enjoyed
even
this-
talk about how we got our asses kicked in golf today.
Listen,
Yeah,
by
we
these-
should talk
by the
about
two
asses kicked,
bookends.
That's bullshit. Listen,
I needed some help
If-
out there. My back
if-
hurts.
if-
I'm just kidding.
plus the 500 people in the stands right now.
this is just shocking that you would even say
I'm
that.
joking, dude.
Oh boy.
Time out.
What is
Went
going
there.
on Tom's camera, bro?
Listen, I am trying to say thank you to everybody that's tuning in. If you find this entertaining at all whatsoever, we appreciate you joining us. Please do subscribe, like, whatever. We'll be here in the next couple of weeks. We're figuring out new things we're going to
Next
do.
week, Jesse and I will be right here.
Yeah. What are we going to do? Okay. So let's send this over to Tommy, who I think is ready to send us off in spectacular fashion.
And we'll
I don't know
send
how
you
much
off
we're
with
going
the
to
shot.
see this, but
I'm taking the AirPods out. I love you all.
Let's go, Tommy. Guys, let's take the shot.
I assume he's nude.
Now the dog is in the way. It looks like there's a dog in the way.
Yep. He's scoping it.
Oh! And that's, guys, what we call a soldier.
That was solid.
That's somebody who will do whatever it takes on behalf of the City Pitchers podcast.
Thank you, Tommy.
And for that, we love him.
you
Tom,
all.
I wish
Love
you and
you
your
all.
family a wonderful Independence Day. To the extent I haven't said disparaging things about America, I want to retract that. Tomorrow is a great day for us to celebrate the wonderful beauty of our nation. The fact that guys like DJ Durag can express themselves without any fear of retribution from a czar, a dictator. These are things that we should cherish.
This is no Georgia.
Indeed.
And even though Rocky was
Hey,
at Georgia,
We won't have a
said,
czar or a dictator at
they're
least for
oppressed.
6 months.
we thank you for joining us. We thank you. Go America. Sucks that soccer's terrible, but they'll try to get it better. And go Paul George.
I would love to see
Go Eric Gordon.
Seriously.
Go
Joel Embiid,
Joel Embiid.
Tyrese Maxey.
Who's the backup?
And Trey
So we got
Turner.
back
Come
again.
on.
Andre
2
Drummond.
bombs last
Andre
night.
Drummond. And by the way, we didn't even talk about the Phillies holding their
So
head
much
with
to
all
get
these
to.
injuries.
Just taking it for granted. 30 games over 500.
It's
Just
not a
taking it for
bad
granted.
time. And thank you to everyone who made this possible. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you. We celebrate you. Life is about good times, and we just keep it
Yeah,
going.
shout out my homies Fink and Meech. See y'all on the other side.
Thank you.
All right.